Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Ian Chen on the line, and he's co-founder and CEO over at Discotech. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adam. Glad to be here.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at Discotech and how you're helping your clients. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career and in business?
So my career probably started right after college. So I joined Bain Company as a management consultant back in 2008, again, coming out of a business degree at Berkeley. And then I was there for about 2 years and a summer, and then I actually moved on to the finance world. So I moved down from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I joined a private equity firm called the Torres Group, doing due diligence for merger and acquisition opportunities. Did that for about 2.5 years. And it was really during that time where I became more involved in the nightlife world as a consumer, just like going out a lot, partying in LA. and that was really when the genesis for Discotech came along. And then back in 2013, I started Discotech with a couple of my buddies back from UC Berkeley. And so we've been doing that for over 6 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. I love how the idea came about. That being said, we're going to get further into Discotech, but before we do that, there's some younger entrepreneurs or that are just getting started out there. Maybe they're still at that idea stage. You managed to make it past idea stage, launched a company in business over 7 years now. We all learn from those ups, downs, sideways, everything in between. What kind of advice would you give to that younger entrepreneur that's maybe just getting started out there and getting their feet wet in business?
I would say, beyond kind of a lot of the other general pieces of advice they've probably heard, such as, be ready to do this for a long time, right? Like make sure this is something that you're passionate about and willing to commit, say, a decade or more of your life to. That's definitely number one, like making sure you have the conviction, the discipline, the hustle. And then number two, I'd say, is make sure your business economics make sense, right? So, for example, gross margins, right? If you're selling $100 worth of product, like how much of it are you keeping net? You want to make sure that number is high. The higher that is, the better. And if it's something that is, hard to back out and make money on, like you should probably reconsider.
I love it. And I think a lot of people, the way I like to say that is make sure that you're playing a game that's worth winning. Like just because you can stay in business, just because you can tread, just because you can whatever, like just understand at the very simplest thing, if you have a widget and you're making you're going to make 25 cents on that widget, you're going to have to sell a lot. How much money do you need to earn a year? Is it worth solving that problem for you to earn 20 cents or 25 cents on a widget? Or do you want to work with something that maybe you have to make 25,000 on the widget? Different businesses, different models, but just make sure you're playing a game you want to win. I love that, Ian. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up a bit. Let's get into Discotech. So you hinted at it. Let's go further. So first, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
So Discotech, we're essentially open table for nightlife. So we develop a free mobile app available on iPhone and Android, and we have a website as well. And what we do is we make it easier for our customers to, first discover events. Second, buy tickets, reserve VIP tables, and then also get free guestless access to nightclubs, pool parties, lounges, upscale bars, music festivals, and concert venues. And we're in over 50 cities at this point.
That's awesome. Any kind of, that whole experiential marketing, that whole connecting to your audience in a different way. Any kind of trends kind of going along that line that you're noticing in your space that you care to comment on?
Well, our space is really technologically unsavvy, right? So nightlife as an industry actually lags further behind than, say, restaurants.
For sure.
So we're not really reinventing the wheel here. We've seen other companies like, again, OpenTable disrupting restaurant concierges, Booking.com, Expedia, Travelocity, all of those guys disrupting, human travel agents when it comes to booking flights and hotels and, rental cars, et cetera. We're really just taking that same model and we're applying it to the world of nightlife to bring efficiency and transparency to this space. Really kind of doing to club promoters what, these other companies did to, travel agents.
Yeah, it's a tricky space you're in. To say that it lags behind technologically, I think would be an understatement. It's hard, like to kind of go through. I've seen restaurants that they've been brought up to speed, like you said, a little bit further based off of like things, even like Yelp, right? Like when that first came out, that was like a completely novel / new concept. But what you're doing with Discotech, to me, that seems like that's going to be it's a cycle. So restaurants are first. Next, that space seems like it would have to get more technologically savvy as the owners and proprietors, as they change guard, let's say, and as they go further along in their cycle, and they want to attract clients, just like restaurants. I think that was a great comparison.
Yeah, it's one piece of that as well is just it's what the end consumers want or are used to, right? So as younger generations are becoming 21 and they're starting to go to these venues, what do they want? What are they used to? So the next generation, they're very much used to getting everything on demand, having an app or something, going online, booking things very quickly. This whole like finding a human promoter, calling them, texting them, and going back and forth, I don't think that's what this next generation wants to do when it comes to making a reservation.
Man, that's awesome, and I think that's awesome. It makes total sense. And in my mind, I'm like, thank you, new generation, for using your buying power to change it for all of us, because I don't want to deal with it either. I don't want to deal with it either. There's it's almost like a user experience in a workplace. It's like Facebook can't be better than your experience when you go to work. Like it can't be. If it works better, you're in trouble. Same thing with this. You're in trouble if you can do something other than get to your nightclub in a quick manner, over time, of course. So Ian, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on, I'll say in two different sides, so either obviously as a consumer, but also as a business owner that may be interested in marketing and or being on Discotech, what are the best ways for people to reach out?
They can reach us directly through our mobile app or through our website. We make it very easy to contact us. Again, our app is free to download on both iPhone and Android, and then our website is app.discotech.me. So app.discotech, and then M as in Michael, E as in elephant.
Perfect. Well, hey, Ian, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work that you're doing over at Discotech. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things that we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Ian, thanks again for coming on the show.